Cowboys Nation, it feels like the stars are finally aligning in Dallas. Every time Dak Prescott steps on the field lately, you can just feel that confidence radiating. The man looks locked in, calm, and completely in command of this offense. You can see it in his timing, in the way he spreads the ball around, and in the energy he brings to the huddle. The numbers are backing up what our eyes are telling us. 16 touchdowns on the season, just 3 interceptions, and sitting near the very top of the league in passing yards. He's operating at an elite level, playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football, period. What makes it even more impressive is how consistent he's been over the last few weeks. We're talking about 4 straight games with at least 3 touchdown passes and not a single interception. That's not just hot, that's historical company. The only quarterbacks who have managed that kind of streak are legends like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson in their primes. That's the kind of company Dak Prescott is keeping right now. And you can tell his teammates are feeling it too. CeeDee Lamb said something that hit home, that the noise has quieted down. All those critics who were running their mouths when things weren't perfect, suddenly they've gone silent. That's just how it is when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Every throw, every snap, every decision gets analyzed to death. When you're great, people still wait for you to stumble just so they can say, "See, I told you so." But right now, there's nothing to criticize. Dak is showing leadership, poise, and that fire you want from the guy under center. Sure, last year wasn't his best. He'd probably tell you that himself. But this season, he's come back sharper, smarter, and with a chip on his shoulder. Now here's the crazy part. Despite all that dominance, despite being statistically one of the top quarterbacks in the league, Dak Prescott isn't even getting proper respect in the MVP race. Somehow, he's tied for 10th in the odds, sitting behind guys like Jordan Love. How does that even make sense? The only reason anyone could possibly justify that is team record, but that's such a lazy take. The Most Valuable Player award is supposed to be about who's performing at the highest level, not who happens to have the better defense or special teams around them. The truth is, Dak's playing like an MVP, whether the voters want to admit it or not. But let's shift gears, because there's more good news coming out of Dallas. DeMarvion Overshown is officially on his way back. He sent out that little T-21 message that had fans buzzing, and now it's confirmed. His 21-day practice window is opening up. That means the Cowboys have 3 weeks to get him back into game shape before deciding whether to activate him or leave him on injured reserve for the rest of the season. From what I'm hearing, the plan is to take their time and line up his return perfectly for the Monday night matchup against the Raiders after the bye. That's a smart move. Get him fully healthy, get his legs under him, and then unleash that speed on defense again. Overshown's energy and instincts are exactly what this defense thrives on, and having him back would be a huge boost down the stretch. He's not the only one coming back, though. Cooper Beebe, the young center, is finally ready to start ramping up again. His ankle's been an issue, but the recovery's gone well enough that he could actually be back in action as soon as this weekend. That would be massive for the offensive line. Then there's Savion Revel, the rookie cornerback who's been dealing with setbacks since training camp. His window's open now, too. Bit by bit, the Cowboys are getting healthier, stronger, and deeper. Speaking of defense, there's one guy who deserves some real recognition: Kenny Clark. The stat sheet might not tell the full story, but he was a monster out there last game. According to the advanced numbers, he actually led the team in pressures, 5 of them, and was constantly forcing the quarterback to move off his spot. You could feel his presence on those key plays, especially on that interception by Darren Bland. The pass rush looked more alive, the run defense more disciplined, and that's not by accident. The Cowboys made some adjustments, and they worked. One of the biggest changes? More blitzing. The Cowboys brought the heat on over a third of their defensive snaps, way up from their usual rate, and it completely disrupted Washington's rhythm. And finally, after weeks of fans yelling for it, they leaned more into man coverage. The difference was night and day. They jumped from one of the lowest man coverage rates in the league to nearly half their snaps, and it paid off big time. Fewer yards allowed, more sacks, no touchdown surrendered while in man. The defense looked aggressive, confident, and unpredictable. That's the identity this unit needs. And you can't talk about that defensive performance without mentioning Jadeveon Clowney. He had his best game as a Cowboy so far. 5 tackles, a sack, 2 batted passes, and a fumble recovery in just 26 snaps. That's impact football. You could tell he's finally starting to feel like himself again after shaking off the rust. Coming off the couch mid-season is no joke, but now he's got his legs under him, and it shows. He even said it himself after the game. He feels fresh, he feels faster, and he's ready to go. If this version of Clowney sticks around, that's a game changer for Dallas's front. With Clowney hitting his stride, the rotation up front is starting to take shape. Early downs should be handled by the physical guys like Clowney and Ease, while Dante Fowler and James Houston bring that extra burst off the edge in passing situations. It's a solid mix of power and speed, and when you've got that kind of versatility, it makes life a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Now, while the defense is stepping up, let's not forget about what's happening on the offensive side beyond Dak. George Pickens has been absolutely sensational. He's leading the league in yards gained from defensive pass interference penalties. Over 110 yards just from those alone. That shows how dangerous he is downfield. Corners are literally having to grab him to stop him from making plays. When you add those hidden yards to his receiving totals, his impact becomes even more ridiculous. The chemistry between Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott is giving defenses nightmares, and it's only going to get scarier as the season goes on. And look, I know there's been some debate about whether or not the Cowboys should pay Pickens after the season ends, but come on, that's not even a real question. When you have a young wide receiver who's producing at this level, who's consistent, competitive, and brings attitude every snap, you keep him. Simple as that. This isn't a problem, it's a blessing. You've got cap space, you've got your franchise quarterback, and you've got 2 elite wideouts. That's the core you build around. The idea of letting him walk just because he's going to be expensive, that's like complaining your steak is too tender. Pay the man and keep this offense loaded. Oh, and before I wrap this part up, we have to talk about Brandon Aubrey, the alien himself. This dude is rewriting the record books for long field goals, already holding the NFL record for most 60-yard-plus kicks made, and he's only 3 years into his career. His range is absurd, his accuracy is robotic, and his confidence just keeps growing. Honestly, the only thing more amazing than watching him drill these kicks is wondering why the Cowboys didn't let him try that 67-yarder last week. They had the ball at midfield, and you just know he wanted that shot. At this point, you almost expect him to make it. The Dallas Cowboys are trending up in every direction. The quarterback is playing at an MVP level. The defense is tightening the screws. Injured players are returning, and the stars are shining brighter than ever. The energy around this team feels different. The swagger is back, the execution is crisp, and you can sense that belief building both inside the locker room and across Cowboys Nation. The best part? It feels like they're just getting started. What's really exciting about this stretch for the Cowboys is how balanced the entire team feels right now. The offense and defense are finally clicking at the same time, and that's something we haven't consistently seen in years. You can tell the confidence is spreading throughout the locker room. It's in the way players talk after games, in the body language on the sidelines, and even in the way the coaching staff calls plays. There's a sense of rhythm and belief that wasn't there before. When Dak Prescott steps into the huddle, everyone trusts him. When Dan Quinn sends a blitz, the defense knows it's going to hit home. That kind of synergy doesn't happen by accident. It's built from chemistry, preparation, and a team that's finally finding its identity. Dak is doing more than just putting up numbers. He's controlling games. His command at the line of scrimmage has reached another level, adjusting protections, changing plays, and getting everyone lined up perfectly. You can see how much faster the ball is coming out of his hand. The timing between him and his receivers looks effortless. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Brandon Cooks, all of them are finding open lanes and catching the ball in stride. The yards after catch have gone up dramatically, and that's because Dak is reading defenses quicker than ever. He's not forcing throws like he sometimes did in the past. He's taking what the defense gives him and still finding explosive plays. It's calm, efficient football, and it's making life miserable for defensive coordinators trying to slow him down. Another piece that deserves credit is Tony Pollard. He's running with more confidence lately, finding those small gaps and hitting them with purpose. You can see how the Cowboys are starting to use him more creatively again, lining him up in motion, getting him outside, giving him screens and misdirection plays that put linebackers in a bind. When Pollard gets into space, he's dangerous. Combine that with Dak's passing efficiency, and suddenly the Cowboys' offense looks like a complete, multi-dimensional unit. Defenses can't just key in on one guy anymore. Everyone is contributing. And the offensive line deserves a ton of praise. Getting healthy at the right time has made all the difference. With Cooper Beebe working his way back, the interior protection looks stronger, giving Dak more time to operate from pocket. When your quarterback isn't running for his life, good things tend to happen. It's no coincidence that his completion percentage has climbed and turnovers have dropped. The big guys up front are doing their job, and it's paying off. Now, defensively, what we're seeing is a return to that aggressive, attacking style that defined this unit when it was at its best. Dan Quinn's decision to mix in more man coverage and bring extra pressure completely changed the energy of the defense. The players are feeding off it. You can see corners pressing receivers, linebackers shooting gaps, and defensive ends getting free runs at the quarterback. It's a defense that plays on its toes instead of on its heels, and it's making a statement again. The results speak for themselves. Fewer explosive plays allowed, more turnovers forced, and more confidence all around. Micah Parsons continues to be the engine that drives it all. He's not just racking up sacks. He's drawing double teams that free up everyone else. His presence alone changes how offenses block. And when you combine that with Clowney finding his rhythm, DeMarcus Lawrence bringing that veteran consistency, and the young guys like Sam Williams rotating in with fresh legs, you've got one of the deepest pass rush rotations in football. Every drive feels like the defense is one play away from forcing a mistake. In the secondary, Darren Bland just keeps proving that his breakout wasn't a fluke. His instincts are incredible. The way he jumps routes, reads the quarterback's eyes, and turns interceptions into touchdowns is becoming something of a trademark. When you have corners playing with that level of confidence and safeties who can move around and disguise coverages, the whole scheme opens up. The Cowboys are showing that versatility again. Disguising looks pre-snap, baiting quarterbacks, and then collapsing on passes like a wave. It's smart, fast, physical football. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has left the sports world buzzing and Twitter in absolute chaos, the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly pulled off a blockbuster deal that nobody saw coming. The star quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy, is rumored to be heading to Big D. Yes, you read that right. The Cowboys, long known for their aggressive off-season maneuvers, might have just outdone themselves, shaking the NFL to its very core. Sources close to the team have hinted that negotiations have been intense and secretive, with both franchises reportedly working behind closed doors for weeks. Purdy, who has been a sensation with the 49ers, leading them with poise and flair far beyond his years, could be the final piece Dallas believes will catapult them into Super Bowl contention. The whispers around the league suggest that the Cowboys see him as the dynamic playmaker that can finally give their offense the spark it has been missing. Fans across the country are divided. Cowboys faithful are already daydreaming about a new era of dominance in Texas, imagining Purdy's precise throws connecting with an explosive receiving core. Meanwhile, 49ers fans are in shock, reluctant to let go of a young talent who seemed destined to lead them for years. Social media is ablaze with speculation, memes, and endless what-if scenarios as insiders leak tidbits that fuel the rumor mill. Some analysts are already questioning how Purdy would adapt to the Cowboys system, with new coaches, new schemes, and the inevitable pressure of playing in one of the most scrutinized franchises in sports history. But if Dallas pulls this off, it could redefine the NFC landscape, turning the Cowboys from perennial contenders into clear favorites overnight. While nothing is confirmed, and both teams have remained tight-lipped, The mere possibility of Brock Purdy in a silver and blue jersey has ignited debates, late-night calls between fans, and even casual observers reconsidering their Super Bowl predictions. If this rumor proves true, the NFL may never look the same again, and the Cowboys could have just orchestrated the off-season coup of the decade. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.